Can you help our viewers in a basic understanding of steel industry, something you've experienced? Can you help them?
Sure, sure. So I have one, two sliders that I've prepared. Very preliminary to say the least, but if you have zero context, you will have some knowledge about the steel industry and where India stands in the international steel market.
And speak very frankly, like we recently had the task graduate come to the show. So we'll share this discussion on steel industry with him, and we'll ask him to forward this 10-15 minute topic video to others in Tata Steel. Like
He also with Tata Steel.
I don't think it's such a deep analysis.
Analysis नहीं किया, कोई बात नहीं.
It's not only about analysis. जब तुमने आज experience बताया कि देखो 10 लड़कियां आई थी, टाटा ने इतनी मेहनत करी, 10 लड़कियों को shop to state, right? So maybe some insights on that. Like what could they have done better to have the conversion rate instead of 20% to take it to 30%? Maybe have better bathroom facilities or some insights, because what I've realized is कि fancy analysis नहीं चाहिए होती है कई बार तो माने शॉप फ्लोर पे तुम्हें जो पता है रिया, I don't think Tata Steel senior management knows, and I think that's what a platform like this does. It allows them, like it allows me to tweet at the rate Tata Steel or at the rate whoever is leading that hey, if you want to have more than 20% conversion rate of women who stick around, take some suggestions from Ria. So just make it very real, mane. Yeah.
I mean, while you're putting it, I'll just say my 2 cents in shop floor experience. In my opinion, that is the biggest experience, क्योंकि ज़्यादातर लाते हैं ना, उनको कुछ नहीं पता होता कि actual ground level क्या होता है. It is about
और जो लोग
It's about the connect, जिसने shop floor पे काम किया और जिसने MBA का management किया है और वो connect कैसे करते हैं. That is, Ria, I think what you can bring to Accenture, to whoever you work for in the future.
और जो लोग नीचे से भी आते हैं, अगर उन्होंने 30 साल पहले शॉप फ्लोर पे काम किया था तो lot has changed by now.
That's also that.
Bilkul. And coming to this one point, I remember because Tata Steel was concerned with the MTTs going away and the conversion ratio being so low, they actually handed on this project to the HR interns to figure out why the winners of these competitions, why the MTTs actually leave before the second or the third year. And I'm sure we are analyzing and working on that.
Yeah, see, take it from people who are 25 years outside IIMs now. This guy sitting in London, me sitting here. We have friends who are at the topmost. At your level, you think, oh, they're analyzing. But the reality is, nobody has any clue.
We are learning.
So nobody, माने तुमको जो लगता है कि अच्छा उन्होंने interns को बोला कि तुम analyze करो, तुम find out करो. That report is in an email somewhere where nobody has any, like people have, the decision makers have probably spent 2 minutes reading the report. But that's it. Text like I don't figure it out. I don't know what to do. So the value that you can bring by putting a face to it, of being someone who was part of that and then who left, the value that you bring, तुम अभी appreciate नहीं कर पा रही हो. I think 25 years later, when you watch this video on YouTube, you'll appreciate, अच्छा, wow, I did bring a lot of value.
Nice. 5 years later, you will appreciate. So, Ria, put your presentation on, and we will try not to ask too many questions, but we will.
So just a disclaimer, I've spent like 1 or 2 hours just today before the call to bring this up. And it's like I said, if you don't...
And also just to let everyone know, I literally told her on Friday night for a podcast that was happening on Sunday, that why don't you prepare something on steel investors? So not only that she spent 2 hours, but I literally told her 24 hours back.
Yes. Oh, and just as I introduced, if you don't know anything about the Indian steel industry, you will certainly walk away with some input, some information as to how the Indian steel industry is headed, what are areas of worry, areas of advantage, and the like. So I'll begin with some numbers. I'm a consultant in the making, so of course begin with numbers. So as of today, India is the second largest steel producer in the world, the second largest crude steel producer in the world. But the difference between the rank 1 and rank 2, rank 1 being China and rank 2 being India, is huge. And anything that happens in the steel industry in the world is a direct repercussion of what is happening in the Chinese steel industry. So if you just see the numbers, the Chinese steel production is 1020 metric ton, whereas the second highest, which is India, is close to 144, 145 million tons. So you can see the difference. It's close to 9 or 8x. The Zoar capacity is 180 million ton, but we are right now only producing anywhere between 144 to 150 million tons. So now, can you imagine the power China has in the world steel industry? Anything that goes, like the 10% of their industry is the sum of the entire steel production of the world. So yeah, so everything that happens there.
And yes, and why does China have this power? Is it because, like, structurally, what do they have that gives them this power? Is it a lower labor cost? Is it better methods of production? Is it entrepreneurs that have done something special? Is it the state that has done something special? Like, what is giving China this enormous power?
A mix of all, as well as resources, a lot of resources, and the state having put in. So the Chinese, the stage where India is right now, China has had that 20, 30 years ago. That's the stage of development where they were a few decades ago. And the state has like perpetually been trying to ramp up steel, because for infrastructure, for development, you need steel, and the state has worked on this over the years. So it's just years of them building production. Also, surprisingly, I'll come to this, but now they've gone on to reduce their production. Now they are operating much below capacity because of sustainability and global reasons. But yeah, we are going to come to that. Now for India, the steel industry is growing at approximately 13%, as well as the consumption, which mainly depends on infrastructure, buildings, trains, and yeah, any kind of development requires steel. So that's growing at roughly 13% in the country. The biggest players are SAIL, Vizag Steel, Tata Steel, ArcelorMittal, and JSW. But
and again, how do you want to do it? Do you want to finish it and then ask questions, or can we have an interactive discussion?
If you would want to ask, you should go ahead.
So you're saying that the crude steel production is 144 million tons, but is crude steel the final product that's being used in bridges and buildings?
No. That's why the last part is very noteworthy. That even though we are the second highest steel producers in the world, we still import steel. And what steel is this? This is high quality finished steel. The finest quality ones with highest quality that we use for most important or crucial of the developments. So we still import steel even though we are the second largest producers, and that's high quality steel.
And we
now, China and maybe even some parts of Japan. So Japan is third largest. Yes. So now coming to, like you had given me this small bit that we are going to be growing from a 3 trillion economy to 50-60 trillion. So I just wanted to now come up with a few pointers that anyone who's tracking the steel industry should know about. That where is it headed? What is it? What are things in favor? What are things providing friction to the industry? So I've covered both these just as trends of the industry. So the government again is trying its best to push the industry by coming up with PLIs. Yeah, so these are the link schemes that give you some incentives, give you some kind of a waiver if you enter the industry. So the government announced that going ahead from 2024 to 2025, they'll be providing subsidies to domestic production of steel.
What is a PLI?
Now, it's a PLI's. What is it? I just remember the full form, but it's like giving an incentive. I'm really sorry, but it's
like giving tax incentives, production linked incentives,
performance linked incentives. Yes. So it's more like saying that if anyone from the country goes on to domestic production, goes on to producing steel, we will give you some waivers.
Okay.
For example, I've done it in the solar.
Job bonus मिलता है कि अगर ये कर लोगे, that kind of a thing.
They had done it with solar. They're doing it with electric batteries. कि anyone who enters this industry, जो normal tax rate है, maybe we'll give you some reductions on that to push more and more people to. It can even be production linked incentive. कि अगर आप इतना बनाओगे, you will get some kind of reduction of taxes or any other benefits. Now, so another thing that I feel that the government is doing to encourage this is the steel industry of the steel ministry is powering with the Prime Minister's Gati Shakti master plan, and they are helping to geotag and geotag locations, which geotag steel units in the country, so that way they can directly be linked to this another plan of the government. So the steel industry is now onboarding itself as a user of the PM Gati Shakti master plan. Another very
Riya, can I interrupt you? What is Gati Shakti? Sorry, I've not heard in Ladakh.
Gati Shakti is the government's endeavor towards building more and more roads, more and more the logistical infrastructure. The government's plan to build logistical infrastructure, more and more roads,
Like
more and more railways.
Roads and railways.
Railways.
Nitin Gadkari kar raha hai, that kind of a thing.
Yes.
Okay. And how does the steel industry then go into that?
They have onboarded themselves as the, let's say, infrastructure partner. The steel industry will help you. The steel industry will help the plan to locate the nearest steel vendors, the steel locations. For this project, take maybe steel from in some mediating or build then houses, because they have the most information about the steel producers in the country, right? So if they've onboarded steel industries, they can help optimize. For this project, these can be your vendors, or maybe not exactly vendors, but the best linkage between industry
And
and
then like a weight and volume wise, maximum logistics hota hai, road or rail.
yeah, that's the last point. Yes. Logistical constraints are the biggest problems. Then the lower part is the concerns in the industry, the problematic areas that still haven't improved even after so many years of.
In spite of Gati Shakti?
Gati Shakti is just coming up.
Okay.
But no, not just Gati Shakti. There is we don't realize the amount of work that needs to go into service 1.5 billion people. So no matter how much we do this, there's always something better that can be done. Another thing that's very interesting about steel is that it's malleable. It can be used n number of times. So it makes it a very good product for a circular economy, for sustainability. Because unlike plastic, you can recycle it n number of times. So more and more companies are getting into this field as how they can create more steel from steel scraps, not just creating steel from the dug in iron ore, but recycling steel. That's a very upcoming business, very in the market, in the news, because of the trend that the world is moving towards sustainability. Then one point that I was trying to touch upon when I mentioned China and the capacity and how anything that happens in the Chinese steel industry affects the entire world. One thing that happened starting 2022 is that China started to reduce its steel production. Even though they had the capacity, but they started to go and reduce their steel production because they felt that steel is environmentally very harmful for the environment. And it's surprising that they say this because all their infrastructure development has been powered by this, but suddenly this realization comes that we are going through some kind of downturn. The property industry, the infrastructure, the realty market is slowing down, plus the environmental concerns. So China drops down production, and that gives India, the second largest player in the market, to pump in more steel and fill in this gap. Because though the consumption of steel and the production both reduced in China, but the consumption remained the same in the world. So that is why in 2022, 2023, we saw such a good upcycle in the Indian steel market. That was because China had reduced its production.
I think Riya, I've got a question. China versus India. What's your outlook for the future?
From what I've heard about China, anyone who's been to China has told me that we cannot even imagine the kind of development that China has made for itself in technology, in infrastructure. And I just want to go and see it with my own eyes. And saying that we'll reach there very soon will be so much of a optimistic view. So we have a lot of time till we get to the level China is at, whatever you call it, because they have a very strict government that makes things happen, and it takes so much more time to make things happen in a democracy. That being them being ahead of us in technology by decades, that being the reason, it'll take us a lot of time, according to me, to get to the place China has reached. Of course, I realized that they've now come down to the second most populous country, and this will only go down. But still, we cannot make use of the demographic dividend of the country unless we have the skill, we have the resources, we have the technology and the capital that China has, and it has infused in a very focused manner in the development.
Okay, Ria, let me ask you this. How many metric tons of steel do we use? So we produce around 150 metric tons of crude. How many metric tons do we actually use in our country in a year?
So we do export some fraction of it, and the rest we used. I may be wrong on the export numbers, the exact percentage, but the rest is used up in the country, apart from a very small percentage that goes for export.
So is there a space for entrepreneurs in this industry? Say, like Miglani came to you and said, look, Ria, I'll give you 10 million pounds, which is like 100 crores. And I want you to do something in the steel industry, a startup in the steel industry. Is there a space for entrepreneurs?
One thing that instantly comes to my mind is alternative steel. So because steel making is such a resource intensive process, it creates so much pollution and harms the environment, the ore digging and all. One thing that the industries, the companies are moving towards is finding alternatives to steel. One thing that I'm aware of is a lot of companies working on graphene, and this is just one that comes to my mind. I'm sure there'll be so many more scientific names that I'm not aware of. But if anyone's able to find a substitute of steel, which is just as strong, but requires less resources, harms the environment less, they are like that's one research area where you can make so much.
Yeah, that's more of a research area. That's more for labs, like R&D to do.
Ria, continue. Vix is gone. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So then I was coming to the problems or challenges that the industry is still facing. Like I said, the logistical problems. I would say from my experience that the companies that are doing good in India have somehow been able to make good use of the not so great existing infrastructure. They've somehow been able to optimize the already existing infrastructure, which is not good. We still use trains, we still use low speed trains to transport ores and the finished steel from one corner of the country to other with very high cost involved. So the logistic is still not been in good shape in the country, especially relating to such bulk goods like steel, the rolled products, the long products. Also, one concern is both related to sustainability and cost. It's a non-replenishable resource, both coal and iron, and because of the fact that they are limited, their prices go on increasing. No matter you have a captive mine or you buy these resources, you have to be aware of the fact that you are taking these resources from the future generation, and the costs are high, and you have to be more mindful of
Ria,
how you source these resources.
Ria, I'm assuming this is your last slide, right?
Yes.
So now, as an Accenture consultant, as a future partner at Accenture, what?
Oh, Ria Mehta's consulting, that's also a possibility. Like we can have a consulting firm called Ria Mehta Consulting.
So Ria, what would you suggest if you were selling a project to Tata Steel or JSW Steel or whoever else in the world or in India? Based on these three slides, I think you've got like exceptional insights into the industry. क्योंकि सबसे ज़्यादा insights होते हैं basic, analyst, associate वाले insights होते हैं, फिर वो partner set to the client. So as an Accenture partner, how will you sell this?
I will sell maybe 2 points here. One, I already mentioned this to Vikas. There is immense potential in finding alternatives to steel. We don't realize it. I don't know the exact numbers. Then will we run out of the coal and the iron ore? Of course, there are numbers. By this year, the crude oil will be over. By these many years, iron ore and coal will be over that we are using right now. So I don't have the numbers. But you need to be focusing all your efforts on R&D to develop an alternative of steel. Because the moment someone does it, your industry is going to be hugely impacted.
But so you're selling a consulting project to a steel client, वो short term तो नहीं होता है. Alternatives. What project are you going to sell?
Then maybe I'll take up a project very similar to what I had done in my internship at Tata Steel, which was to bring in digitalization, and maybe I'll even take up AI, that how you can use AI ML for, let's say, optimization of your plants, optimization of the whole process, steel making process, optimization of maintenance, optimization of the continuous process. So yeah, I can bring in technology in a very good way here.
And you have from your like shop floor experience that you can bring to your consulting experience and then as a partner experience.
Consulting or partner to cover ho gaya. I'm thinking, what can I take from the shop floor?
Shop floor, Maria, I do want to hear 2 suggestions from you that if the CEO of Tata Steel heard, he can implement to take the conversion rate from 20% to 30%. कि जो management trainees आते हैं वो ज़्यादा stick करें. 2 suggestions verbally with a face. It's not written on a piece of paper, on an email. It's verbal. It's quite somewhat face in it. So give us 2 suggestions for people on the shop floor. कि the CEO of Tata Steel, and I'll make sure, and Miglani is way more connected than I am. He'll make sure that the CEO of Tata Steel will watch this 2-minute shorts. Like, what suggestion will you give that the more management trainees stay back? Because I think every industry does better when there's more gender representation in that industry.
So you're asking for ways to retain more women, not
Yes.
just the
The management, the MTs. Like, let's keep it very focused. The other thing is कि हम जितना उसको डिफ्यूज कर देते हैं ना उतना वो इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं कर पाते, राइट? तो वेरी फोकस्ड, you're a management trainee, you worked there for 18 months and got to a point where he said कि आई में हुआ चाहे नहीं हुआ, I'm going to go work for a startup where I'm not even sure कि startup survive करेगी कि नहीं 6 महीने बाद. But you were pushed down to that limit कि you are willing to leave for a startup. So what could they have done different that you didn't get to that point?
One thing that I can come up with right now is them being able to explain the expectation of the role better. If I had this idea at the beginning of joining the role, that this role entails me to be available 24/7, no matter if I am on a vacation or it's my off. If I had known that, I would be more mentally prepared, or at least go in with this information.
Perfect.
So-
Expectation management is
Yeah.
number 1.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's great.
So while you're in college, it's all hunky dory. You are going to be a manager in a very good steel company, and in the internship, you're treated so well. Everything is good. But the day you get posted, everything's handed over to you without that expectation management.
I love it because what might have happened is that they made the offers to the top 10 case competition people who won, only 2 left. But if they've done the correct expectation management, maybe 5 would have left. 5 would not have joined instead of 2. But the other 5 who would have taken that spot, they would have been much better prepared to then stick on for the long term.
They would be, it would be a conscious choice that yes, I know I am going to be asked to come and handle this challenge head on, no matter what the time, no matter what the problem, what the breakdown. I should be aware and come to handle this. I think that I was not prepared for that mentally when I was getting into that role.
Ria,
Riya, the first suggestion was that expectation management, and I think that is such a wonderful suggestion. That is something that can be implemented, and I'm so sure that will help Tata Steel achieve its objectives. Do you have some other suggestion for that?
Then maybe once the expectation is set, you know what you're here for, you know what the job entails. Maybe the initial 1 year, instead of handing over an entire section and being responsible for the production and the quotas, the daily and the monthly quotas, you could maybe have someone to half manage the section, because
Wow. I think that's wonderful. Like giving some ramp up time. But if you're done,
this is where you have to get to, but because you just finished your training and you're fresh out of college, you don't know how to manage.
I'm sure some girls might hate me for it. Maybe Miglani chilayega, baad mein phone pe abhi bol dunga, par बोल देता हूँ. देखो मैंने जो लड़कियों के बारे में देखा है कि वो ज्यादा डेडिकेटेड होती हैं, ज्यादा डिसिप्लिन्ड होती हैं और वो फेंकती कम है, वो ज्यादा माने दे आर मोर, मैंने लड़के होते हैं उनको दे दिया कि ठीक है हो जाएगा नहीं होगा दे आर मोर विलिंग टू डील विद कि नहीं भी हुआ तो क्या हो गया, पर लड़कियां कि नहीं कोटा आ गया तो कोटा तो फिनिश करना ही है and I have to meet my quota. They're just so much more, they come with a different personality, so they need, like at least what I've seen with my daughter is she needs a slightly more ramp up time than the boys, but she's just so much more disciplined and focused and dedicated to whatever I ask her to do. So I think these two suggestions, I think there's just one being expectation management, and second, understand that girls need a different kind of a ramp up time compared to the boys. I think those are excellent.